Hello everybody, my name's Emma from Balance Works Yoga. Thank you very much for joining me today for the second week in our Yamas and Niyamas course. Today we're looking at the third Yama. Remember, the Yamas and the Niyamas are the more sort of ethical, moral side of yoga, things to help us live a more fulfilled life. So what we do on the mat, but also off the mat in our daily lives as well. So we're threading them through the next few weeks. We had Ahimsa and Satya last week, and we're looking at Asteya this week. So Asteya translates as non-stealing, which at first glance, a lot of people might think that they're pretty good at that one already. They might not steal physical things from shops or people's houses or other people. Hopefully that is the case for most of us. But as with all the yamas, it's good to go a little bit deeper and think about other things that you might be stealing, and more, so less physical things, less material things, such as happiness or time or peace from people and from ourselves, from the world. And so thinking along those lines as well. So I'll just give you a few examples, just like food for thought, if you like. Thinking about our moods that we transmit to other people, because it depends what mood we're in. We can, if we're in a bad mood one day and it's really hard to get out of that, we all do it sometimes. And if we allow that to transmit to other people and transfer to them and make them feel in a bad mood as well, because we've been, then we're stealing away their peace, their contentment with our mood. And the same with yourself, you're taking away your own peace and contentment. Also, if you are in a constant state of worry or anxiety or stress, and allowing yourself to have a lot of that in your life, then you're stealing your own peace, your own happiness. Also thinking about looking after ourselves and our health. So if we're looking after ourselves physically in what we do, our exercise or what we eat, then that's really good, because if we don't do that, then we might be stealing time we have with our future self. So thinking about trying to prolong our life so we have longer with the world in our lives, but also with other people. If we don't look after ourselves, then we're stealing time away with our future loved ones in the future, if that makes sense. So yeah, it can get quite deep the more you think about it. So all the daily things we do can contribute to us trying not to take things away from ourselves and from other people. Also think about how much energy and time you might take away from other people. Think about your relationships with people. Are they well balanced, where you're able to be a good listener and or a two-way relationship, or do you feel like you're always talking to them and a bit of an energy drain on them? If you've sort of going on and on and on about things, often it can feel a bit one-sided. So trying to think about that and make sure it's sort of a well-balanced relationship, so we're not draining other people's energy and stealing that away from them. Also thinking about, are you responsible for yourself? Are you good at clearing up after yourself? This one's a little bit maybe directed to younger people, maybe my teenage children. Or do you end up relying on other people to do a lot of the clearing up after you? That's one to consider. Hopefully when you're a bit older, then that's not so much of a problem. But you can also think about being on time for things and not wasting other people's time, and think other ways you can sort of steal things from other people. Responsibility is a big word in Asteya. One more thing is just to consider is the environment, the world around us, because that's quite a biggie as well, and making sure that we're not taking too much from the world and using too many resources. So trying to use a bit less, think about whether you're good at the reducing, the reusing, the recycling, trying to take away less precious resources from the world rather than just using and overbuying, over-consuming when we maybe don't really need it. So lots and lots of things to consider here, and I didn't want it to turn into a lecture, but I also just wanted to give you a little food for thought maybe. When we think about our practice, our asana practice on the mat, we can think about and in everything we do actually. We can maybe think about being more present and really making the most of this time, so we're not got our brains elsewhere in the future, in the past, and really keeping up a good awareness throughout the practice, so we're noticing the sensations and making the most of it, so we're not stealing our enjoyment of this time on the mat. So yeah, lots of things to think about. For me, the key thing that comes out of Asteya is the word balance keeps on coming to me, especially with the name Balance Works Yoga. It fits so well. I think balance is a great thing to be aware of in all aspects of your life, because we do need to use things, we do need to have relationships with people. There are certain things we do need to take, but trying to make sure that we give back as much, or keep it well balanced, as much as we do take away from the planet, from other people, from ourselves. And there's a lovely quote from the Buddha, and he said, I've got it in front of me, should be able to remember it. He said, "Walk softly upon our earth, giving what you can and taking only what you need." So that's something to have in mind, to take into your week. Okay, let's get on with the practice. Okay, we're going to start lying down on our mats, so get comfortable. Just shuffling your way down. You can maybe have the knees bent, the feet wide, and allow the knees just to fall in gently, touch. That should support the lower back better. Of course, you can always extend the legs if that's more comfortable, or just take a moment to find a position where you can start to connect with yourself, with your surroundings, and really bring yourself to the present moment. Remembering the Asteya, the not stealing the experiences, the peace, making the most of the time you have here right now. So coming to the breath and just noticing all the sensations as it comes in and out the body. Using the inhale to expand the front body, the belly, the chest, and the exhale just to relax the shoulders, the back, the muscles on the face. Follow the breath. Notice the sensations. And another great exercise for really bringing us to the present moment is checking in with our senses. So it's a great one to do if you're outside. You might have more stimulation, but wherever you are, it's just great for bringing yourself to the present moment. So take a moment to notice anything that you can see. And right now you might have your eyes closed, so it might just be the sensation of having your eyes closed, maybe some different tones behind your eyelids. Maybe brightness, maybe darkness, depending on what time of day you're doing it. You might be looking at the ceiling. I can see a skylight and I can see the sky, a few clouds. Got a nice blue sky today, so just notice. And then come to your hearing and check in with what you can hear. Even if it's just your breath. And then notice if you have any smell or taste sensations. And lastly, send your awareness to what you can feel in your body. So connecting with the mat beneath you and how that feels, maybe even your clothes. Just being aware of any areas of discomfort or things that feel good, any warmth, any cooler feelings. Even just be aware of the feeling of the air around you. Take a deeper inhale and a longer exhale. Just going to start a little gentle movement with the head, just gently Ease your neck from side to side, just checking you're not holding tension there. Very gentle movements to begin with. Trying to notice and be present to all you can feel. And then we're just going to take an inhale and open our chest, just sort of squeezing our shoulders underneath us, just crawling them underneath us a little bit here, expanding the chest. Maybe a little bit of our back comes off the ground. As we come into this almost like fish pose in the upper body, just taking a big inhale. And then as we exhale, just release the shoulders and allow your back to, again, just nestle into the ground. It's just great at sort of helping it to relax and become more flush with the mat, with the ground. And then we're going to hug our knees in. Another great one for a little massage of the lower back and a way that we can feel the sensation down our back body even more. A few little rocks or rolls. Whatever feels good here, holding onto your knees or shins and finding what feels good. Really great, especially if you do a lot of sitting or standing during the day, just to get on your back, maybe before you go to bed. Lovely. We're going to send our left leg long now. So we're going to extend our left leg long and carry on hugging in the right knee. We're going to just start a few ankle rotations here. Oops. It's always my right ankle. It's the noisy one. Again, just opening up all the muscles in joints in the feet, the toes. Try not to do that anymore, sorry. And then maybe turning it into a fuller circle with the knees, so holding onto your right knee with your right hand and just like you're stirring a pot here, just doing some bigger circles of the whole joint, the pelvis, hip. And change direction. Bring your arm into the motion as well and get the most out of every movement. And then allow the right foot to come to the floor. Keep the knee bent though. Just going to allow your right knee to come down to the floor, so to the side, opening up like a half butterfly pose here, and then draw it back in again. So a bit of in and out with just one knee, trying to bring the foot nice and close to the other leg. Bit of up and down here. Your arms can be either alongside you or maybe out to the side a bit for a bit extra stability, palms down. And then allow the knee just to stay down wherever it opens up here, like almost like a tree pose or cactus pose, lying down. Option here to send the left fingertips up, out to the side and just get a nice stretch down your left side. Reaching, taking a big inhale, trying to exhale and nestle the shoulder blades into the ground. And then we're going to bring our left hand and bring it to our right knee. So we're going to take our right knee now and gently encourage it over the body, over towards the left side of the body, getting a little twist here. The right arm can go to the side or if it wants to come to, if you haven't got anything in your way like I have. Just finding a nice stretch twist. Inhale. Exhale. Bring it back to center. Keep that knee bent. Just put the foot back on the floor and lift the left foot up. The left leg nice and long up towards the ceiling and draw it back down again. We're just going to raise it up and lower it down slowly. 2 more times. Up and lower down slowly. One more. Inhale up and lower down. Really, really slow, slow, slow. Maybe you can hold it long, just hovering off the ground slightly, beginning to activate our abs a little bit here. Lovely. Then we're going to hug in our left knee and extend the right leg out. So go on the other side near. Rotate the ankle. Open up the toes. Begin to wake up. Say hello to your foot, your toes, all those very important muscles and bones that we rely to get us around our day. And then left hand to your left knee and start to stir the pot on this side. Just opening the hip joint. Again, just whatever circle feels good here, really checking in with this side of the body now, which might be different to the other side. And other direction. You choose what size the circle is. And then bring the left foot back to the floor. Just going to send the left knee down to the floor, just opening out like a half butterfly. Bringing our left foot towards our right thigh, seeing where it wants to come to. Maybe a bit of up and down here, just to ease it in. Opening up the pelvis, getting this lovely open feeling. Leave it down in like a tree pose, and you can send the right fingertips up or out to the side. Oops. Hopefully we're doing this with a bit more space. I have to kind of push myself back, otherwise you won't be able to see what I'm doing if I'm in the middle of the floor where there's a bit more space. And then bring your right hand back to the left knee, hugging it in a little bit here and drawing it gently over to the right side of your body, just getting a little twist all the way down your left side. Maybe your left arm comes out to the side and you take your gaze towards your left fingertips, finding whatever twist feels good here. Big inhale, remember to keep nice deep breaths. And then back to center, left foot can just pop back down on the floor. We're going to bring our arms alongside us and lift the right leg up, our foot towards the ceiling, reaching up, and then lower it slowly down. And again, inhale up. Exhale, lower it down. We're going to have a nice active flexed foot here. Inhale up. Slowly lower down. One more. Inhale up. And slowly, slowly lower down. Maybe hover for a few moments there, a couple of breaths. And then we're going to hug both knees in, have a little rock here. And then we'll be coming up to a seated position. Maybe you want to rock to one side, or maybe you cross your feet and have a little rock if that feels good. A little playful rock up to a seated position. And you can either be cross-legged, or you can sit on a blanket or sit on a block or a cushion or anything, just to elevate the pelvis to get a better upright position here, so we're not slumping down like this. So once we're here, just do a few shoulder rolls. So we're sitting up nice and tall, nice long neck, long back. Just checking that we're trying to stack the joints rather than sitting like this. And then we're going to crawl our fingers forwards, just taking a little lean forwards. Again, thinking about hinging from the hip. Just lowering down, trying to keep nice lots of length here rather than rounding down. Take an inhale and lift and lengthen. Exhale, crawl a little bit further. Just see where your fold wants to come to, what feels okay. Inhale and exhale. But whatever height you're at, whatever feels okay is good. Soften the neck, the shoulders. And then support yourself back upright. Lovely. Just going to do the Hasta Vinyasa we did last week, a little bit of pranayama, which puts some movement in as well, a little bit of vinyasa, movement to the breath. So bring your hands to our prayer position here, just palms together. And we're going to inhale and send the fingertips forwards and open up the arms, and exhale, draw them in again, reversing the movement. Inhale, open. Exhale, draw them in. A couple more. Inhale, open. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, draw it in. One more. Inhale, open. On the next one, just keep your arms out to the side here. Maybe a few shoulder rolls, getting that back squeeze. Sending the thumbs backwards, palms up. Creating that openness willingness. I'm here, taking it all in. Then we're going to bend at the elbows and bring our hands to the top of our head or behind our back here, up behind our head, wherever they want to come to, just to increase the movement. Going to take a big inhale, squeeze the back body, and exhale. We're going to round the back body and draw the elbows in. So a little seated cat-cow. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Going at your pace with your breath. Just a bit more of a dynamic movement, but don't force anything, just whatever feels good. Checking in with the spine, the shoulders. You can always ditch the arms if they don't feel good, and keep them on your knees if that's better. Okay, one more. Back to center. We're going to come to an all fours position now, tabletop if you like, and just take a moment to get yourself in a stable position. Have a little rock when you're there, making sure your wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. A little rock, just warming up the wrists a little bit here. Maybe you can spin the fingertips out to the side of the mat. Or just have a little walk around, whatever feels good. Just warming up the shoulders a little bit here and the wrists. Tie my hair back, getting in the way. Lovely. And then back to a neutral position. We're going to send our left toes out to the side, nice straight left leg. Lift the left arm up and open up in the side body. Big, lovely open feeling here. Reaching with the fingertips, reach, reach, reach. And exhale, bring the hand back down. Send the left toes back behind us, but keep the leg long as we draw the navel in. You can either keep the toes on the ground there or lift them up off the ground, but really trying to make sure we draw the navel in so we're not sinking our lower back here and dumping the pressure through there. Option to add the opposite arm, the right arm, and reach it out in front of us. Gaze at the mat so you've got a nice long back, long neck. Reach, reach, reach with the fingertips and the toes. One more breath. And exhale, bring the hand and the knee back down. Lovely. Going to send the right foot out. This is where I don't have much room. Send the right foot out to the side and inhale, lift the right arm up, reach, maybe a little roll here or just rotate the wrist. Give it a little rest while it's up there, a little break. Reach and inhale. And then exhale, bring the hand back down. Going to sweep the right toes behind us. So we've got one long leg back on my mat. And stay on your toe, the back right foot toes. And you can either keep them on the mat or you can lift them off the mat slightly here. Draw the navel in. And then send the opposite arm in front of you, coming into bird dog on the other side. Just reaching out here, really long, strong position. Pressing down the top of your foot and your palm so you've got nice stability here. Really focusing on drawing the navel in for length, gazing at the floor, and then exhale, draw them back in again. Just a little rock from side to side here, maybe round the back, squeeze the air out and come into a little cat. Lovely. You're going to walk the hands forwards, come into a puppy pose like we did last week and melt the chest down to the mat, keeping our hips nice and high. Maybe your forehead comes to the mat, maybe it comes to a block or a cushion, or you can always have the block underneath your chest. Wherever you are, just taking a couple of breaths to melt down a little bit further. If you're really flexible, you can always bring your chin to the mat, beginning to bring your whole forearms and armpits to the ground, just whatever feels good. Might be a bit too much to begin with. Deep breaths. And then slowly walk the hands back up. Come to a kneeling position now. Roll the shoulders, release the arms and the wrists. Go from the little bit of a shake out. Just checking in, everything feels okay here. Lovely. We are going to come into a downward dog. So we're going to walk the hands forwards. tuck the toes, lift the knees, just hover for a moment, draw your belly in, inhale, and then exhale. We're going to send the hips a bit higher, beginning to straighten the legs. They don't have to straighten though, they can stay bent. You can pedal the legs here and just begin to feel the sensations down the back of the legs. Maybe one heel touches the ground, maybe it doesn't, but try to draw the hips backwards and the weight through our heels rather than all the way over our hands. Add a bit of movement. Take some deep breaths. A position, down dog, where we can really be present. Notice all the feelings. And just let go a little bit. Okay, we're going to look forward to our hands and tiptoe our feet forwards and come into a fold. Come up onto fingertips, or you can hold onto the elbows here. Bend the knees generously. Maybe have a little sway. Relax the head and neck. And just bend the knees so your belly comes down to your thighs. Big exhales. Relax the arms. We're just going to tuck the chin in, tuck the pelvis, and slowly roll up to a standing position. Uncurling like a flower, growing slowly, head coming up last. Maybe bring the arms up as well to grow a bit higher. Reaching up with the fingertips, big inhale, and then exhale, release the arms. Have a little swing. Just really important to look after the body in between, especially if you don't do yoga that often. Just giving it a release in between, just to send all those calming signals around the nervous system that it's all good, it's all okay, we've got this. Okay, so we will be doing a couple of sun salutations because they're just such a great way to warm up and also be present. We're putting the movement with the breath, and so they're just a really good way for a whole body warm up, really. So coming to the top of our mat, take a moment just to send awareness to your feet. Spread the feet out. I like to lift my toes up and spread them down again. Maybe coming up onto my toes, lifting my heels, give myself a little balance. Just send some awareness through my feet. Make sure I'm nice and rooted down into mountain pose. So just a little micro bend of the knees. Take an inhale. Just make sure we're lifting through our front body. Exhale, grounding down through our back body, melting the shoulder blades down, tucking the chin slightly, rising to the crown of our head. Imagine that imaginary thread pulling gently to keep us nice and aligned. On our next inhale, we're going to inhale and sweep the arms all the way up, reaching upwards, and exhale, we're going to hinge at the hip, fold down. Hands can come down to the mat or to a block. Bend the knees, exhale. Inhale, slide the hands up, our shins come into a flat back, half lift, squeeze the shoulders. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands down to the mat, and we're going to step back to a plank position or a half plank, you choose, but wherever you are, spreading those fingertips out wide. Gripping with the mat with your fingertips till they turn white. Drawing the belly in a little bit here, but lowering the hips so we get this plank-like position. Gazing at the floor in between our hands, or your knees can be down if that's better. One more breath, and then exhale, we'll lower ourselves down to our bellies, but you can bring your knees down first if you prefer, or you can come down through chaturanga. Inhale, come up to a little cobra. You choose the height, baby cobra's fine. And then exhale, ripple down, tuck the toes, push your way back into down dog. Take your time if you need to go through a tabletop or to adjust your hands. Take a couple more breaths here. It's nice to sigh it out through your mouth. Let's take an inhale through our nose. Sigh it out through your mouth. Really helping us relax in our shoulders and our neck. We're going to step or walk to our hands. Coming into the fold. Exhale. Inhale, slide the hands up to a half lift. Maybe sending our fingertips backwards behind like little wings. Chest parallel to the ground. Half lift like a number 7 shape. And then exhale, bend and fold. Inhale, slowly rise up to standing, rolling up slowly, slowly. With the hands coming up at the end, and exhale down to prayer position. Taking a moment just to check in with how we're feeling, noticing any differences, or grabbing some water, or relaxing the arms, whatever you need to do before we go one more time. So, coming to the top of our mats when you're ready. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold, bring the hands down. Inhale, half lift, slide the hands up our shins. They can be on our knees, our thighs, our hips. Exhale, bend at the knees and bring the hands down to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Spread the fingertips, draw the belly in. Pushing the floor away, trying to keep our shoulders over our wrists. One more breath. And then bring the knees down and chest down and lower ourselves down to the mats. We're going to send the fingertips outwards here and just come into a little cobra. So tent our fingertips alongside us. Inhale, come up. Exhale, ripple down. One more time. Inhale, up. Exhale, ripple down. Bring our hands underneath our shoulders, tuck the toes. We will come into downward dog. Take your time if you need to go a bit slower. Big breath. Send the hips back a little bit further. And then we're going to walk or step forwards to our hands. Exhale. Inhale, come to half lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, slowly roll up. Back up to mountain pose. Arms can come wherever you like to finish. I hope you're feeling a bit warmer. Heart's pumping a little bit. Little tingly feelings around the body. Sun salutation in the sun has definitely come out today, which is beautiful. So it's a great way to salute the sun and to connect with nature in all its glory. Awesome. Okay, we are going to come to the side of our mat now. So turn to face the side of your mat in a wide-legged position. So it doesn't matter really how wide they are, you can adjust as we go, so whatever feels good. And once you're there, just going to tuck our tailbones slightly here so that we're not flaring our bottoms out, so we're nicely stacked and aligned. Draw the heels in slightly, so our feet are at 45-degree angles. And when we bend our knees down, we're just getting a little, seeing our toes, our knees tracking our toes. A little bit of up and down here, just checking again that we're not sticking our bums out. Nice lowering up and down, keeping our chest upright as well, rather than sort of going like this, not folding here. Lovely. And then whenever you feel like you are at the height, the depth that feels good for you, then find your goddess pose. Draw the belly in. Just think about being nice and upright, that little thread again. Maybe bring the arms all the way up. Inhale, exhale, cactus the arms. If you want to come into full-on goddess, roll the shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades. You can even bring the arms in and out to distract from the burn in the thighs. Long neck, tuck the chin slightly, draw the belly in. One more breath if you can. And then release the arms and straighten the legs and just give them a little bit of a jiggle. Shake them out. And then back to our wide leg position here, but keeping our feet parallel with the ends of the mats here. And then we're going to be coming into a fold, but first of all, just bring the arms all the way up. And then exhale, cactus, open up the arms here, squeezing the shoulders, keeping the shoulders in this lovely round back position, and then bring the hands to our hips. And I want you to use your thumbs here just to encourage the tailbone to come under. So we're nice and open here with our chest and upright, but we're also sort of lengthening our back rather than sticking our bottoms out, which we don't want to do. So getting this nice, seeing what feels right as you just press it down with your thumbs. And then we will be coming into a fold. So when you're ready, you can always have the block, by the way, if you need a block or something to hold on to, or even a table or whatever you want to come down to. We're just going to hinge from the hip, leaning forwards, tucking the chin. Inhale, lengthen and lift slightly. Exhale, lower. I like to do it incrementally, so we're just checking in with our backs, checking in with our core. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, you might be able to go a little bit deeper until maybe your fingertips come down to the floor or to a block or to a chair or whatever you might have in front of you, until you can get your fingertips on something so you can relax the shoulders and the neck and soften into the fold. Just like if we were doing one with our feet together. You can even bend the knees a little bit if that feels better. On the exhale, maybe going that little bit deeper if it feels good. Remembering the ahimsa, being kind to yourself, not just trying to do something for the sake of it. Being happy with what feels like a good stretch for you. We feel yoga rather than do yoga. Let's walk our hands towards our left foot this time. Or you can slide the block across if you prefer to be in a block. And then lift the right arm up, out to the side, wherever it wants to come to. Just reaching up. Maybe you do a few rolls of the shoulder here. Inhale, reach. And then exhale, bring it down. You can either slide the block across the right foot or walk your fingers across and then lift the right hand up. Reaching up, getting into a twist here. Roll the shoulder. But even being on a block, sometimes it's nice to try the block and think, oh yeah, that feels better. Just give things a go. These blocks, really, really useful. And then exhale, bring it back down. I'm going to walk the hands back over to our left foot and just take a little bend in our left knee. Then walk our hands over to our right foot and take a bend in the right knee. So we're just going to ease ourselves down, coming into a bit of a skandasana here, like a little bit of a lunge, a low lunge to the side or half squat. So it might be that you're still high up and on your block, as long as you're just getting a bit of a lunge here and a bit of a straighten of the opposite leg. Opening the hips. Or if you are low down and your hips are down, you can maybe lift your toes of the extended leg, maybe finding a balance here, maybe holding onto a block. Trying to be upright if you're upright. Don't forget the other side, walk over to the other side, skandasana on the other side, finding your balance, or you might be on a block. And then we are going to tuck the knees in and come to a child's pose. So back onto your mat and find a child's pose that feels good here. You can either have arms extended, fingers reaching to the top of the mat, or you can slide the arms down alongside you, whatever helps you release the shoulders, relax the back. Maybe your forehead is on the ground, maybe it's on a block, or you might want to create a pillow with your hands is another one. Really coming into using the breath in child's pose, the breath to inhale and expand the body, expand the belly and the back. And then exhale, really using it to soften, allowing the muscles just to relax in between the efforts of the practice. And slide the hands under your shoulders. Going to walk our hands forwards, tuck the toes and lift our hips up, lift our knees up into a down dog. Stretching out the legs, stretching the back here. Maybe a little pedal if that feels good. Drawing the belly in, sending the hips upwards. Then we're going to look forward to our hands, really spread out your hands here and press the fingertips. We're going to start to transfer our weight over and rock over towards our hands, coming into a bit of a plank here. You might want to make the feet a little bit wider as we come into a plank position, where you might want to maybe adjust where your hands are. Finding our plank, rippling into a plank, or bringing the knees down if that's better, protecting your lower back. So drawing the belly in, lowering the hips, try and be as plank-like as you can. One last little bit of effort of the practice. Couple more breaths wherever you are. And then we will be rippling down to our bellies. So either knees down or chest chin through chaturanga. slide your hands forwards, coming into a bit of a Sphinx pose here. Tuck the chin. Going to draw the belly in and just round the back a little bit here. Pressing the pelvis, tops of the feet down, and then exhale. Ripple the belly back down. And allow the head to come back up. Awesome. Got one more little move which I love. We're going to come into a little bit of a wild thing option. Just checking you can see me properly here. Okay, so you might want to watch me do it first and then have a little go. We are going to, so we can either start in a Sphinx position or Cobra, or whatever feels okay with your back here. So you can either do this on your hands or on your forearms. Going to start by bending the left knee and bringing the left foot towards the left glute. And then we're going to roll onto our right side, bringing the left foot to the floor behind. So coming to this like sideways, lying on our right side, grounding through that left foot. And here we can either just send the arm up and open up, create the space in the front body, the side body, or we can lift the hips up, really sort of grounding through, making sure we're nice and strong through our shoulder, activate through our shoulder, and lift up here into a wild thing. Reaching backwards and just try not to knock anything out of the way. And then exhale, lower down. You can obviously do the whole thing sort of on your hand as well if you want to come a little bit higher and into a higher wild thing. And then exhale, ripple down and come back onto your belly into Sphinx or Cobra. Bend the right knee and then begin to roll onto your left side. Bring the right foot to the floor and either just lift the right arm up in the air, creating a big stretch here, wherever you want to come to, or you can lift the hips as well and reach backwards, getting a big open feeling, or you can come up onto your hand and reach up, coming into wild thing. Reach, take a big lungful of air, feel energized, alive, free, and then slowly lower down, really lowering down slowly and rolling back onto our bellies. Just got option to do that one more time if you like. It's going to bend the left knee, roll onto our right side, either forearm or hand. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Hips are an option here. If you do, then just lift them up, squeezing the glutes. And then exhale, slowly come down, roll onto your belly, bend the right knee, roll onto your left side. Inhale, lift the right hand up, or the hips as well. Left leg straight, right foot on the floor, wild thing. Take another inhale, open up, and then slowly release back down. Back onto our bellies, round the back up. We're going to shuffle our way back into a child's pose, maybe wide knees this time, if that feels good. Come nice and low. Taking some nice deep breaths. And just reminding ourselves that if we allow ourselves to be fully present in everything that we do, then we are enabling ourselves to really experience the journey rather than always thinking about the end goal. So just being present and enjoying the process, because our time is precious, and if we waste it, steal it away from ourselves, if we constantly have our heads in the past or the future. So really just feeling every moment, feeling every experience, using your senses in yoga, but also off the mat as well in our whole lives. Slide the hands under our shoulders and slowly support yourself back upright. We're going to come onto our backs now, just to slow things down. There is an option here to find fish pose again, like we did a little bit at the beginning. We did a little gentle one. But if you do have a block or a bolster or a cushion, then you might want to have the block underneath you and just experiment with how that feels. I've only got one block to hand right now, so I'm just going to use this cushion to prop something for my head as well, because some people don't need a cushion and they just tilt their head all the way backwards, but I find that a little bit uncomfortable, so I'm going to have a cushion. You can either have the block this way or upright this way, down your spine, bend the knees and just shuffle yourself down and just see how it feels, opening up the chest, allowing the head to be supported on something. Make sure you haven't got a frog in your throat. There you go, I think I've got it out. And allowing, not quite in the right position here, it's good if it's kind of a long sort of wear your bra strap if you like. That's better. Allow the head to tilt back. Play around with a different position. If that feels too much for you, you can always lie it down this way, or you can have it sideways that way. Or if you're lucky enough to have a bolster, you can pop that underneath you. Allow the chest to open, the arms to relax. Your legs can be bent or you can straighten them. Trying to relax your arms and shoulders, in particular your hands, around this chest opener. The muscles on our back, our shoulders, just using that gravity just to let go of any tension. Take some deep breaths. And remember, you can take a while to adjust this pose and find something that feels okay. And if at any point it doesn't, just take the block away, find Shavasana, find something that feels good for these last few moments of your practice. Don't skip the important part. The time when we can just use our breath to notice, come back to our senses, do your senses check, and just think about how we can embody Asteya for the rest of our day, rest of our week, by being present, by being well balanced in everything we do, our relationships, and remembering the Buddha. So we walk carefully upon the earth, taking only what we need and giving back what we can. Thank you for joining me today. Stay as long as you like. Namaste.